Welcome to Cultivate Uganda, your home of professional farming and agribusiness tips. If you're passionate about modern farming, higher yields, and profitable agriculture, you're in the right place. Subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our farming guides and field tips. So welcome to this professional guide on large-scale passion fruit farming in Uganda. In today's lesson, we are going to walk together through the complete professional process of establishing and managing a productive passion fruit garden. We shall discuss proper spacing, digging, and preparing planting holes, fertilization programs from planting up to fruiting stages, and the best foliar fertilizers commonly used by successful commercial farmers in Uganda. Passion fruit farming is one of the most profitable fruit enterprises in East Africa today. When managed properly, a single acre can produce large quantities of fruits continuously for many months, supplying markets, juice factories, supermarkets, and exporters. However, success begins with proper establishment and professional management practices. Let us begin with spacing in a passion fruit garden. When establishing a commercial passion fruit plantation, spacing is extremely important because it determines plant health, disease control, sunlight penetration, and future yields. Professional farmers recommend spacing passion fruit plants at 3 meters between rows and 2 meters between plants. This spacing gives enough room for each vine to grow properly without competing heavily for sunlight, nutrients, and water. The reason why this spacing is important is because passion fruit vines are vigorous climbers that spread widely when they mature. If the plants are crowded, the garden becomes too humid, and this encourages fungal diseases such as brown spot disease and fusarium wilt. Proper spacing allows good air circulation inside the plantation, reducing disease pressure and improving overall plant health. Another advantage of proper spacing is sunlight penetration. Passion fruit plants require adequate sunlight to stimulate flowering and fruit development. When the vines receive enough sunlight, they produce more flowers, better fruit setting, and sweeter fruits with attractive color. Proper spacing also makes farm operations easier. Farmers can move comfortably while spraying, pruning, harvesting, and weeding. It also allows easier installation of trellis systems and irrigation lines in large-scale plantations. With spacing completed, the next step is digging planting holes. Professional passion fruit farmers dig holes measuring 60 centimeters deep, 60 centimeters wide, and 60 centimeters long. These large holes are very important because they create a fertile environment for the young roots to establish quickly and strongly. When digging the holes, farmers should separate the topsoil from the subsoil. The topsoil is usually more fertile and should later be mixed with organic manure before returning it into the hole. Large planting holes benefit the plants in many ways. First, they allow better root expansion, enabling the roots to penetrate deeply and absorb nutrients efficiently. Second, the large holes improve water retention around the root zone, helping the plants survive dry conditions. Third, they create enough space for adding manure and fertilizers that support strong early growth. After digging the holes, farmers should prepare them before transplanting. Mix the topsoil with well-decomposed cow dung manure, poultry manure, or compost manure. Organic manure is very important because it improves soil structure, increases water retention, and supplies slow-release nutrients to the young plants. At this stage, farmers should also apply a basal fertilizer, such as DAP, which stands for diammonium phosphate. In Uganda, common brands include Yara DAP, Foamy DAP, and Elgon Kenya DAP. Apply about 100 to 150 grams of DAP fertilizer per planting hole. DAP fertilizer is rich in phosphorus, which stimulates strong root development and early establishment of the vines. Strong roots help the plant absorb water and nutrients effectively, leading to vigorous growth. After preparing the holes, they should be left for about 2 to 4 weeks before transplanting the seedlings. This resting period is very important because it allows the manure to decompose properly and prevents fertilizer burn that can damage young roots. It also improves soil microbial activity and allows the soil to settle naturally before planting. Now let us move to fertilization after transplanting. Immediately after transplanting, the young passion fruit plants require nutrients that support vegetative growth. At this stage, farmers should continue applying organic manure around the plants because it improves soil fertility and maintains soil moisture. Farmers should also apply CAN fertilizer, which stands for calcium ammonium nitrate. Common brands in Uganda include Yaraliva CAN and Foamy CAN. Apply about 50 grams per plant after the seedlings have established successfully. Fertilizer supplies nitrogen, which promotes leaf formation, vine elongation, and healthy vegetative growth. Strong vegetative growth is very important because healthy vines later support heavy flowering and fruiting. As the plants continue growing, they enter the vegetative development stage. During this stage, balanced fertilizers such as NPK 17-17-17 become very important. Common brands in Uganda include Yaramila Winner, Mavuno NPK, and Fomai NPK fertilizers. These fertilizers should be applied every 6 to 8 weeks depending on soil fertility and rainfall conditions. Balanced NPK fertilizers support stem development, healthy foliage formation, and overall plant vigor. They help the plant build a strong framework that will later carry heavy fruit loads. After vegetative growth, the plants begin flowering. Flowering is one of the most critical stages in passion fruit farming because this is where future yields are determined. At flowering stage, farmers should reduce excessive nitrogen application and increase phosphorus and potassium fertilizers. Too much nitrogen during flowering encourages excessive leaf growth instead of flower production. Professional farmers commonly apply fertilizers such as NPK 10-10-20 or other high potassium fertilizers during this stage. In Uganda, examples include Yaramila products, Easy Grow flower and fruit fertilizers, and Mavuno flower booster fertilizers. These fertilizers encourage flower initiation, improve flower retention, reduce flower abortion, and support successful fruit setting. Potassium is especially important because it strengthens the flowers and improves the plant's reproductive performance. At flowering stage, foliar fertilizers become extremely important. Foliar fertilizers are sprayed directly onto the leaves, allowing nutrients to be absorbed quickly into the plant system. One of the most popular foliar fertilizers used in Uganda is Easy Grow flower and fruit. Easy Grow flower and fruit improves flowering, reduces flower dropping, enhances pollination success, and promotes strong fruit setting. Farmers are advised to spray it every 2 weeks during flowering and fruiting stages. Another common foliar fertilizer is Boost Extra. This product supplies important micronutrients that improve plant vigor and support flower development. It also helps increase energy within the plant during heavy flowering periods. Farmers usually spray Boost Extra every 10 to 14 days. Tecamine Max is another highly effective foliar fertilizer widely used by commercial fruit farmers. Tecamine Max reduces stress, stimulates flowering, and improves nutrient uptake within the plant. It is commonly sprayed every 2 weeks. As flowering continues, the passion fruit plants eventually enter the fruiting stage. During fruiting, potassium becomes the most important nutrient because it influences fruit size, sweetness, firmness, and shelf life. At this stage, many professional farmers apply sulfate of potash, commonly known as SOP. In Uganda, common SOP brands include Yara SOP and Fomai SOP fertilizers. Sulfate of potash improves fruit enlargement, increases fruit sweetness, enhances fruit firmness, and improves storage quality after harvesting. Farmers normally apply SOP every 2 to 3 months depending on the condition of the plantation and soil fertility. Foliar feeding should also continue during fruiting. Easy Grow flower and fruit can still be sprayed because it improves fruit quality, enhances fruit color, and supports better shelf life. Farmers should also use calcium boron foliar fertilizers during fruiting. Examples commonly found in Uganda include Agraleaf calcium boron and Yaravita Bortrac. Calcium and boron are very important nutrients during fruiting because they prevent fruit cracking, improve fruit firmness, and support proper fruit development. These foliar fertilizers should be sprayed every 2 weeks for best results.
Now, fellow farmers, let us discuss a few important professional management tips for large-scale passion fruit farming. First, always mulch your passion fruit garden. Mulching conserves soil moisture, suppresses weeds, and improves soil health over time. Second, ensure proper irrigation, especially during dry seasons. Passion fruit plants require consistent moisture during flowering and fruiting. Water stress during these stages can cause flower abortion and poor fruit development. Third, pruning is very important. Remove excess shoots, weak branches, and overcrowded vines regularly. Proper pruning improves sunlight penetration, air circulation, and fruit production. Fourth, install a strong trellis system using durable poles and wires. Mature passion fruit vines become heavy, especially during peak fruiting seasons, and weak trellises may collapse. Lastly, regularly monitor pests and diseases. Passion fruit gardens are commonly attacked by aphids, fruit flies, brown spot disease, and woodiness virus disease. Early detection and timely spraying are very important for maintaining healthy, productive vines. Fellow farmers, successful passion fruit farming begins with proper spacing, professional hole preparation, balanced fertilization, effective foliar feeding, and good field management practices. When these methods are followed correctly, passion fruit farming can become one of the most profitable agribusiness enterprises in Uganda. Thank you for listening, and I wish you successful farming and abundant harvest in your passion fruit plantation.